A single mom stood on the rooftop, ready to give up on life. But the man who stopped her that night was the last person she ever expected. Stay tuned because you are about to watch a beautiful story and find out what happened next. Hello, family. Welcome to Tales Haven. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel for more beautiful stories. Thank you as you do so. Sit back, relax as we dive into the story. The city at night was alive with noise, cars honking, music echoing from bars, people laughing far below. But on the 31st floor of a tall glass building, there was only silence. A silence so heavy it pressed against Maya Caldwell's ears. She stood at the rooftop's edge, barefoot on the rough cement, her toes curling against the sharp line that separated her from the empty air below. The wind was cold, whipping through her hair and tugging at her thin dress. Her arms wrapped around her body, not for warmth, but as if trying to hold herself together before she completely shattered. Maya's eyes burned with tears. They blurred the world until the city lights below looked like scattered stars in water. To most, the sight of the glowing skyline was beautiful. To her, it was cruel, reminding her of everything she had lost and everything she could never reach. Her life had become a series of battles she could no longer win. Years ago, she had believed in love, in promises, in family. But her husband had walked away before their daughter was even born, leaving her with nothing but heartbreak and a newborn baby in her arms. Her parents had turned their backs when she refused to fix her mistake by giving the baby up. Friends who once cheered her had slowly disappeared when the bills started piling up. And yet, Maya had tried. She had fought hard. She scrubbed floors until her knees ached. She carried trays in diners until her arms shook. She worked nights when her body screamed for rest, just to keep food on the table for her little girl. Her daughter, Emma, was the only light left in her world. At 8 years old, Emma still believed in magic, in happy endings, in her mother's promises. Every night, when Maya tucked her in, Emma would whisper, "Mommy, I know you'll make things better." But last night, when Maya opened the envelope the landlord had slid under their door, her world collapsed. The paper was stiff in her hands, the bold black letters cutting through her like a blade. Final notice. Vacate in 7 days. 7 days. 7 days until her daughter would have no bed to sleep in, no home to return to. The thought of Emma's little face, confused and afraid, tore at Maya's heart like claws. She felt like she had failed in every way a mother could fail. Her chest rose and fell as sobs shook through her body. She thought of all the nights Emma had gone to bed hungry while she lied, saying she wasn't hungry so her child could eat the last piece of bread. She thought of the little birthday cake made out of leftover cupcakes, where Emma had smiled so wide, pretending not to notice it wasn't like other children's cakes. "I'm sorry, baby," Maya whispered into the cold night. Her voice broke, carried away by the wind. I tried everything." The tears rolled down her cheeks, warm against the chill. She spread her arms slightly, as if surrendering to the dark sky. The city stretched wide below her, promising an end to the pain. With her eyes closed, she leaned forward. For a moment, she imagined peace. No more debt collectors, no more empty cupboards, no more shame of watching her daughter suffer. Just silence. Just rest. But before the emptiness could swallow her, a sudden force pulled her back. A strong hand gripped her arm tightly. She gasped, her eyes snapping open. Instead of the dark sky, she saw a tall figure holding onto her with unshakable strength. His voice cut through the night, deep and firm. "Don't jump." Those 2 words froze her in place. Her knees gave way, and she collapsed onto the rooftop floor, trembling, tears streaming down her face. And when she finally looked up at the man who had stopped her, she saw not pity, not judgment, but eyes filled with something she had not seen in years. Concern. For a long second, the only thing that existed was his gaze, steady, warm, unafraid. Maya's breath came in fast, broken pulls. Her hands shook. "It's okay," the man said softly, not moving too quickly. "You're safe. I've got you." His fingers loosened a little, but didn't leave her arm. He angled his body between her and the ledge, giving her space yet blocking the wind. "Can we step back together?" he asked. "One small step." Maya nodded. They moved. One heel, then the other. When her feet found solid ground, her knees buckled. He guided her down to sit against the low wall, never letting her fall. Breathe with me, he said. In for 4, out for 4. They tried it together. In 1, 2, 3, 4. Out 1, 2, 3, 4. Her chest eased, bit by bit. The night sounds returned, a siren far away, the hum of air vents, the wind softening. He slipped a clean handkerchief from his pocket and offered it. Here. Maya hesitated, then pressed it to her wet cheeks. The cloth smelled faintly of cedar and soap. She realized she was freezing, her shoulders shaking. He noticed too. Without a word, he draped his suit jacket over her. The weight and warmth made her eyes sting again. You don't know me, she whispered. Why do you care? Because people matter, he said simply. Because you matter. He kept his tone even, calm. No pity. No harsh questions. I can't do it anymore, she said, voice breaking. I'm tired of being strong. I'm tired of pretending. She wrapped her arms around herself. My little girl thinks I can fix everything. I can't. He listened, really listened, his brow soft, his attention fixed only on her. What's her name? He asked gently. Emma, Maya said, the word catching in her throat. She's 8. He nodded once, as if the name itself was important. Emma needs you. Not a perfect you. Just you, breathing, present, holding her hand. He paused. Tonight you didn't fail. You asked the world to see you. I see you. Maya closed her eyes. The cold air kissed her damp lashes. Something small and careful loosened in her chest. What's your name? She managed. He offered his hand, palm steady. Nathan Cole. Her eyes widened. She had heard that name, on a screen in a shop window, in a headline someone left on the bus. CEO. Billionaire. Too far from her world to be real. Yet here he was, suit dusted with rooftop grit, sitting on concrete beside her. You're the owner of this building, she said, unsure if it was a question. I work here, he said with a faint smile. Then, more softly, right now, my job is making sure you get through this night. A silence settled, gentle, not heavy. I was so sure there was nothing left, Maya whispered. There's this, Nathan said, tapping 2 fingers lightly over his heart. And there's tomorrow. He let the word linger. We don't have to solve everything tonight. We take the next right step. He glanced toward the stairwell door. May I get you somewhere warm? No pressure. We'll go slow. I'll stay a step away if you want. Your pace. Maya looked at the door, then at the black sky beyond the ledge. Her fingers tightened on the handkerchief. She nodded. Nathan rose first and offered his hand again, not pulling, not pushing, just there. Maya placed her palm in his. His grip was firm but careful, like holding something precious. They stood. She swayed, and he steadied her. One more breath, he said. They inhaled together. The air felt less cold. Okay, she whispered. Together, they took the first steps away from the edge. Maya wrapped in a stranger's jacket, a stranger's kindness, and the fragile shape of a new word forming in her mind. Hope. Nathan opened a rooftop door, warm light spilling into the dark. He waited, letting her choose. Maya nodded once and crossed the threshold. Warm light spilled across the stairwell as Maya stepped through the door. The air inside smelled faintly of lemon cleaner and dust. Nathan stayed a half step beside her, close enough to steady, far enough not to crowd. They reached the elevator. The doors slid open with a soft tone. Inside, Maya stared at the floor numbers lighting up one by one. Her fingers clutched the lapels of his jacket around her shoulders, gathering its weight like a shield. Neither spoke. They breathed in quiet rhythm until the doors opened again. The executive floor was hushed. A security guard rose, concerned, but Nathan lifted a calm hand. She's with me. The guard nodded and sat back down. Nathan led her into a wide office with glass walls on 2 sides. The city glowed beyond the windows, smaller and softer than it had looked from the roof. He clicked off the bright ceiling lights and turned on a single lamp. The room shrank to a pool of warm gold, A couch, a low table, a small credenza. Sit anywhere, he said gently. No rush. Maya lowered herself onto the couch. Her legs still wobbled. Nathan brought a glass of water and a box of tissues, then opened a cabinet and pulled out a folded gray throw. He held it out. For warmth. Thank you, she whispered. The blanket felt like a promise. Thin but real. Nathan took the chair opposite, elbows lightly on his knees, hands open, phone out of sight. You don't owe me answers, he said, voice steady. But if you want to tell me what brought you up there, I'm here. I won't interrupt. Maya stared at the water. A drop slid down the side and pooled on the table. She followed it with her eyes until the words came. I have a daughter, she said, voice small but clear.
Emma.
She's 8. I work mornings at a diner. Nights, I clean offices. We keep going, bus rides, packed lunches, secondhand shoes. It was hard, but it was okay. Her mouth trembled. Then the rent went up. Tips went down. The envelope came last night. 7 days. She told him about counting coins in her palm at the bus stop, buying only the bread with a red sticker, catching a leak in a pot, and placing a towel around it so Emma wouldn't slip. She told him about missing an hour of work to meet a teacher, then staying up after midnight to make up the hours in a different building. She told him about promising Emma she'd fix everything and feeling that promise burn in her chest. My parents stopped speaking to me when I chose to keep her, she said quietly. Emma's father left before she was born. He said he wasn't ready. I keep trying to be ready for everything. She shook her head. I'm tired of being a one-person army. Nathan didn't move except to nod now and then, listening, not searching for quick answers. The clock on the wall ticked softly. The city lights blinked far away. What is Emma like? He asked after a moment, the question gentle, almost reverent. A fragile smile touched Maya's mouth. She reads out loud to me, even the big words. She draws stars with little faces and calls them our team. She says, it's just us two, Mommy, team 2. The smile wavered. I'm scared of breaking her team. You won't, Nathan said. He let the assurance sit there, simple and solid. You've done the work of 3 people on your own. You didn't fail, you ran out of help. That's different. The words hit something deep. Maya lifted a tissue to her eyes. No one has ever said it like that. Nathan nodded once. You asked earlier why I care. He paused, choosing the next sentence. Because sometimes someone near the edge needs someone on solid ground to lend them a little of it. I can do that. He leaned forward slightly. Here's what we'll do. Just the next step. Tonight you go home to Emma. I'll have a driver take you. Tomorrow morning, come back here. Bring her if you're comfortable with that. We'll talk with my team about immediate housing support and a role that fits your life. We can train for the work. We can't train for the heart you already have. Maya's eyes widened. Housing? A role? It sounded like light where there had only been dark. Yes, he said simply. And a schedule that lets you be her mother first. He lifted a hand toward the door. May I ask my assistant to set it up? Maya nodded, speechless. Nathan pressed a button on the desk phone. Olivia, please arrange a car for Ms. Caldwell tonight and clear my morning. Also, start a housing option, short-term tonight, longer-term options to review tomorrow. Right away, came the calm reply. He ended the call and turned back to Maya. Do you have someone with Emma now? My neighbor, Mrs. Parker. She keeps an ear out if I'm late. Good. He slid a note card and pen across the table. This is my direct number. If anything feels too fast or not fast enough, call me. Maya took the card. Her hand shook a little less. I don't know how to say thank you. You already did, he said. You stayed. Silence gathered again, but it was different now, looser around the edges, almost warm. Nathan stood and offered his hand. Let's get you home. They walked back through the quiet hall. In the elevator, Maya glanced at their reflection in the metal door, a woman in a borrowed jacket and a man with dust on his shoes, standing shoulder to shoulder, like 2 points of the same line. The lobby doors opened to the night. A black sedan waited at the curb with soft light glowing inside. The driver stepped forward and opened the rear door. Nathan turned to her. Tomorrow at 9:30. We'll take this one step at a time. Maya held his gaze, then nodded. 9:30. She slid into the car, the blanket folded over her lap. As the door closed, she looked up at the tall glass building. The rooftop felt far away now, like a place she had passed through rather than a place she belonged. The car eased into the street. Maya pressed the card between her palms, breathing in the quiet. A word rose, careful and steady, and this time, she let it be spoken. Tomorrow. The car rolled to a stop outside Maya's building while the sky was still pale. She held Nathan's jacket tight around her shoulders and took one steady breath before climbing the stairs. Her key turned with a soft click. Inside, the living room lamp was on. Emma lay curled on the couch with a blanket to her chin, crayons scattered on the table beside a half-finished drawing of two stick figures holding hands under a big star. Mrs. Parker dozed in the armchair. Glasses slid down her nose. Maya set the jacket over a chair, touched Emma's hair, then leaned toward her neighbor. "Thank you," she whispered. Mrs. Parker woke, checked Maya's face, and seemed to understand without questions. "Call if you need me," she said, squeezing Maya's hand before shuffling home. Maya washed her face at the sink, then sat on the floor beside the couch and watched her daughter breathe. The fear from the night before pressed at the edge of her mind, but it didn't own the room anymore. She placed Nathan's card in the small bowl where she kept bus tokens and spare coins. Then she closed her eyes and whispered, "Tomorrow." Emma woke to the smell of warm oats. Maya stirred the pot slowly, added a spoon of sugar, and sliced the last banana into thin circles. When Emma sat up, blinking, Maya carried a bowl to her. "Good morning, Star," Maya said. Emma smiled, sleep soft.
"Good morning, Mommy."
She ate, then pointed at her drawing. "I made Team 2 last night. That's you and me." Maya's throat tightened. "It's perfect." She set the bowl in the sink. "We have somewhere important to go at 9:30. We'll meet someone kind. I'll be with you the whole time." Emma nodded, trusting. They got ready slowly. Maya brushed Emma's curls and tied a small ribbon. She chose Emma's cleanest pink dress and wiped the scuffs from her shoes with a damp cloth. For herself, Maya ironed her plain blue blouse and the dark skirt she saved for school meetings. She checked the time. 9:05. At 9:15, a black sedan pulled up again. The driver greeted them by name and held the door. Emma pressed her face to the window as the city slid by. Maya held her hand. "Are we in trouble?" Emma asked quietly. "No," Maya said. "We're going to talk about help." The Coal Enterprises lobby was calm and bright, with tall plants and a wide reception desk. The receptionist glanced up. Before Maya could speak, Nathan appeared from the side corridor, no entourage, only a small smile. "Good morning, Maya." "Good morning, Emma." He lowered to Emma's eye level. "I'm Nathan. Thank you for coming." Emma hid a little behind her mother, then peeked out and said, "Hi. Shall we go up together?" he asked. They rode the elevator to the executive floor. Nathan stood beside them, not in front of them. "You set the pace," he told Maya softly. She nodded. The doors opened to thick carpet and quiet hallways. Olivia, the assistant from last night, waited by the glass doors of a boardroom. "Welcome," she said, warm and professional. "We've kept this small." Inside were 6 people at a long table, 2 directors, a finance lead, an HR manager named Mark, a housing coordinator named Alana, and Olivia with a notepad. A tray with water and apple slices sat near the end. The city stretched beyond the windows like a calm picture. Nathan didn't rush. He pulled a chair out for Maya and another for Emma beside her. Then he stood at the head of the table. "Thank you for making time," he said to his team. "This is Maya Caldwell and her daughter, Emma." He let the names rest in the air. "Last night, Maya reminded me that companies are built by people, and people carry weight we don't always see." He looked to Maya, then back to the table. "I asked you here for 2 reasons. First, immediate stability for Maya and Emma. Second, a path, work, training, and a schedule that honors motherhood." Some eyebrows rose. No one spoke. Alana, Nathan said, please start. Alana slid a folder across the table. We secured 2 housing options, she said in clear, simple words. Option A, a furnished 1-bedroom you can move into today. Quiet street, 10 minutes from Emma's school by bus. Month to month while we finalize a longer lease. Option B, a 2-bedroom available in 2 weeks in the same area. We can hold it for you. Either way, we cover deposits and first months while paperwork is set. Utilities are set up. Maya's hands tightened together. Today? She asked, unsure. Today, Alana confirmed. We'll drive you over after this to see it. Nathan nodded to Mark from HR. And the role? Mark folded his hands. We propose operations trainee. It starts simple and grows. Hours: 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., Monday to Friday, so you can do school drop-off and pick-up. Paid training for the first 4 weeks. We'll teach you our scheduling software, email systems, and vendor calls. After training, you can choose to stay part-time or move to full-time with adjusted hours. Health benefits begin at week 4. Maya listened, trying to hold each piece. I can learn, she said softly. I'm good with details. I saw that last night, Nathan said. The rest we'll teach. Olivia spoke next. Emma, we put together a small welcome bag for you. She slid a tote toward the girl, a notebook with stars on the cover, colored pencils, and a children's book about a girl who builds a paper city. Emma looked to her mother for permission. Maya nodded. Emma opened the bag and smiled into it like it glowed. Nathan glanced around the table. Questions? The finance lead cleared his throat. This isn't standard procedure. No, Nathan said evenly. It's better. Silence again. Then the older director at the left end, silver hair, careful eyes, nodded once. Let's do it right, she said. Nathan turned to Maya. You don't have to decide everything now. We can visit the apartment and come back to sign only what you're ready to sign. Maya breathed out. I'd like to see it. Emma tugged her sleeve. Do I get my own window? We'll check the windows, Maya said, a small laugh escaping with the words. The ride to the apartment took 12 minutes. The building was clean and quiet, with a small tree by the entrance and a bench with chipped blue paint. Alana met them there with a key. Inside, the 1-bedroom was simple and bright, fresh paint, polished floors, a small kitchen with a working oven and a humming fridge. The living room had 2 windows that let in warm light. The bedroom was big enough for a bed and a dresser. A folded cot leaned against the wall, ready for the first nights until furniture arrived. Emma ran gentle circles on the empty floor, testing the space. It echoes, she said, delighted. Maya checked the stove, the taps, the lock on the door. She opened the fridge and found milk, eggs, bread, apples, and a note. Welcome home. She put a hand over her mouth. Alana set a simple checklist on the counter. If this works for you, sign here. We'll move a starter set of furniture in by evening, bed, table, 2 chairs, basic linens. If you choose the 2-bedroom later, we'll transfer you when it's ready. Maya looked to Emma. What do you think? Emma stood in the rectangle of sunlight and spread her arms. I think it feels safe. Maya signed. Her hand trembled once, then steadied. Nathan, who had stayed in the doorway to give them space, smiled. Welcome. Maya turned to him. I don't have the words. You don't need them yet, he said. Just take the first afternoon. Rest. We'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 for day 1 of training. By evening, a bed stood in the bedroom, a small table and 2 chairs in the living room, and a lamp that cast a soft circle of light. Emma arranged her pencils in a cup and taped her star drawing to the bedroom wall. Maya boiled pasta, sliced the apples, and set 2 plates on the table. They ate cross-legged on the floor first, then moved to the chairs just to try them. Emma giggled like it was a game. After dishes, they stood at the window. The city lights blinked, the same as the night before, but different in Maya's chest. Not far away, beyond the rooftops, she could see the top of the glass tower where everything had almost ended. She didn't look away. She let herself see it, and then let it be only a building. Emma yawned. Can we read? she asked, holding up the new book. Maya tucked her into the fresh sheets and read until Emma's breaths evened out. She kissed her forehead and stood in the doorway, watching a moment longer. In the quiet living room, Maya took Nathan's card from her purse and set it beside the little bowl of keys on the table. She wrote 3 lines on a scrap of paper and tucked it under the card. Day 1, safe.
Day 2, learn.
Day 3, keep going. She turned off the lamp. The apartment settled around her with the soft sounds of a place beginning. Across the city, in his own office, Nathan looked out at the lights and thought of a rooftop, a stairwell, a small hand slipping into a larger one. He wasn't thinking about quarterly reports. He was thinking about simple steps taken in the right order. What surprised people in the days that followed wasn't only that a CEO helped a single mom. It was that one steady tomorrow, spoken in the dark, became a door to a new life, and that 2 lives, once close to breaking, found room to breathe again. That brings us to the end of this video. I hope you find this story worth watching. If you do, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel for more beautiful stories, and share this video to your friends and loved ones. Your support and engagement encourage me to post more videos. Thanks for watching.